go into the, like, the opening
the
up here,
April.
whatever.
We'd like to welcome you to
Walk
the.
around.
Everyone ready?
You ready? I'd like to call to order the April Elizabethton City School Board meeting. At this time, if you'd please stand, and we'll have Mr. Van Huss lead us in a moment of silence, and then the pledge to the flag.
Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And again, wanted to go ahead and announce we do have one board member, Mr. O'Quinn, who is out of town, and we have Miss Jamie Schaff, who is joining us live through FaceTime and a phone call kind of to make this happen. So it's time to approve the consent and regular agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Any questions or anything on consent agenda? Okay, so we can move on. Is that right? Have to vote on that? All right. So again, we'll vote on that. All those in favor of approving the consent and regular agenda, say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Okay. It's time for citizens to speak, and we did not have anyone asked to speak at this meeting. So we'll move on, and it's time for the director's update.
Thank you, Mr. Pless. Again, we just want to, as we've started out every board meeting, we want to really thank our staff for the incredible work that they continue to do. It's hard to believe it's April. We're talking about Honors Day, graduation, kindergarten graduation, all of these events that we missed last year. We're just so blessed to be at this point, and again, that's a tribute to our staff. It's a tribute to our community partners, our parents, and our students. Just the resiliency that all those groups have displayed throughout this year to get us to this point it is remarkable. This will be things that generations beyond us will be, behind us, in front of us, will be looking back and talking about the things that we did during this pandemic. So just again, want to continue to give them a shout out for all their hard work. Summer school plans, those are coming together, and we will plan to have a report for you at the May meeting, so you'll know what summer school is going to look like, the design. We'll have a little bit more information at that point, but just thanks to Dr. Newman and the people working with her to get all of those arrangements made, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a great opportunity for our students to pick up some learning loss, but have some fun in there as well. So we're excited about what we're going to be able to offer. Our ESSER 3.0, the funding application, that was released today, and so we spent this last week meeting with principals in each building, talking about learning loss, and we won't say an unlimited budget, but if you just look at what the needs are in your building to help close that gap for the learning loss that we've seen, what would you like to do with that money? So we're gathering that information from them to help us put together a portion of this 3.0 funding to try our best to address some of those issues. So I want to say thank you to them. They obviously had spent a lot of time and thought into that, and it's funny that they all did it independently, but each and every one of them came up with some of the same thoughts. So that was all based on data, the things that they've seen as far as test results, attendance, all those components, all those student components that went into that. So we'll have more on that as well. We're still moving forward with the T.A. Duggar project as part of that funding as well. We did have a conference call with someone from the state talking about how, an appropriate way to include that in with this grant. So we're excited about that. Mr. Weems is working on updating those designs. We're really, really excited about the possibilities there as well. The number of classrooms that we could pick up. It looks like we're going to be able to get more classrooms than we originally thought. Again, it's a long time coming, all the way back 13 or 14 years ago when we started that process, and it's exciting to think that it's that close to being a reality. So we'll have more information on that as well at the May meeting. As you know, we last board meeting, you graciously approved a bonus for employees, and during that time, we received information from the state that we actually had some growth money. And so what we did with that money, we took that and put that directly back into our people. So we were able to raise the full-time bonus for all full-time employees from $600 to $1,000, and for those 5-hour employees, up to $675. And then we prorated for those people that work less than that for us. But really excited about that opportunity. Those checks went out today, the vast majority of them. And so that's a small token. We talked about that last month. They deserve a lot more than that. But hopefully hopefully they'll see how much we appreciate them. Again, we'd like to be able to give them more. But again, so we took every bit of that growth money that we received from student enrollment increase from last year to this year and put it right back in our people. So thank you again for your work on that last month. Construction update, the roof work at T.A. Duggar is nearing completion. They're putting up flashing, guttering, things like that. If you've not been by there, the roof looks fantastic. It's really dressed the building up. When you think about an 81-year-old building, sometimes that's hard to do, but it really looks great. They've done a great job on the work, and we're excited for them to be wrapping that up. The restrooms, of course, are completed. Just a few punch list items that they'll be finishing up there. And then I mentioned to you before about the T.A. Duggar design, the possibility for some classroom spaces there, and we hope to have maybe some preliminary drawings for you to look at next month. I just want to make you aware of a couple of dates, and there are a lot more, but just a couple of importance. Graduation is on May 22nd, and that will take place at 10 o'clock in the morning in Citizens Bank Stadium. So if you could arrive at 9:15, that would be great. And of course, we'll all take part. That's a great day to get to see all the fruits, the labor that our students did to culminate all in that graduation ceremony. So we're excited about that. And you all can fight over who's going to hand Veronica her diploma. So y'all can fight over that and see who's going to do that.
Dibs.
You're calling that one?
Dibs, yeah.
All right. Junior high band concert is also April the 22nd at 7 p.m. And they're going to do that differently this year. They're going to do that in Brown Childers Stadium. So if you have a chance to swing by there, that would be great. I'm anxious to. They're actually doing a concert tomorrow morning for the elementary schools as well as T.A. Duggar in the stadium. So they're at T.A. Duggar. So excited about that opportunity. That'll be something a little different. That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Van Huss. Time for board reports. Anything, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Isaacs, or Miss Jamie? I know, just a reminder, we're just talking about that before the meeting, just to make sure if you have that training session that's required, that you get that in. And I do know that they had one recently that they canceled. I think people are still a little leery to come into large groups, so there are some online options and some other things. And then we also have opportunities next year, the Law Institute and the fall leadership conference and annual convention. So hopefully everybody will be able to take part in that. Anybody else on anything from the board? Okay. Time for City Council liaison report. Mr. Simmerly.
Thank you, Mr. Bless. Let's see if I can slide this up a little bit there. I've only got just, I have a couple of things here just as a reminder. This Saturday, April 17th, at 9 a.m., we'll have our Tweetsy Trail Trasher Size Cleanup. So again, I'd like to make sure to invite any elementary, junior high, high school students who want to come, who have signage. We've been told by, I know at least the Press and the Star, and hopefully WJHL has told us they'll be there as well. So again, an opportunity for the children to maybe get their picture in the paper would be great. but more importantly, we're going to be walking the trail. We meet at 9 a.m. at Lions Field. So we'll start from there and walk toward town, cleaning up the trail. That's our annual trash exercise program. We still have openings for the Sycamore Shoals Liberty event. We have several high school students from the drama department who have enrolled. And the park this year, for the first time ever, we're paying the students for their time. So it's an opportunity maybe to get some credit hours that they may need, as well as make a little bit of money for this summer. And more importantly, have some fun with the Liberty reenactment that we do here this summer. We talked about the SRO grant funding. Just again, let us know for the city if we need to work on that. And I know it was like a 2 or 3 year program for the SRO grant funding we talked about. Also, we had a couple weeks ago on the Tweetsie Trail, we planted about 40 trees, and we started on Saturday morning, and that was the same Saturday where the hailstorm hit. So let's just say it was interesting between the rain, the hail, and us old men running and ladies. But we did have several students who come. It was spring break, and but we did have a few who showed up, very appreciative of their time and their support. So again, we really appreciate that. And lastly on my list here is also we had Mr. Van Hust, I've been talking about the Park and Rec, with Mike Main's Park and Rec, as well as for the baseball team, a combination possibility of a building. So we're excited about that. I know we've talked a couple of times about that and funding for that. So again, excited about that, and just we want to make that happen. I know that the baseball team needs more a permanent place for their pitching and their batting practice, and the Park and Rec, that we need a building. So I think working together, again, it's just how it works. Working together as a team, we can get a lot more accomplished. We appreciate that. I think that's about all I have on my list, and thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Simley, and the trees do look good, the ones you were able to get up before everything opened up, so it does look good. Okay, and Veronica, it's time for our student liaison report.
I don't have anything today.
Don't have anything? All right, things are winding. You have a lot of other things on your plate right now, don't you?
Got a couple.
Yes, okay. Well, it's time to move on to the regular agenda. First item is to approve the purchase of 2 instructional programs for the Cyclone Learning Camps. Those are Sunday System Reading RTI program in the amount of $25,109, $23,172 for program kits, and $1,937 for teacher training. An illustrative mathematics Tier 1 math program, $16,050, both programs totaling $41,159. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions or comments you want to, I know explanation will be helpful. So.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's curriculum for us to use for our summer programs that we were talking about earlier. We will be paying for these out of the summer program funds that the state is providing. And again, that's separate from the ESSER dollars that we've been talking so much about. So this is the funding that the state's providing specifically for these summer learning camps. So we need that curriculum in order to be able to try to close those learning gaps. So we'd certainly appreciate your consideration
and
for
that's
this.
4 weeks this summer.
That's correct. That's
okay.
4 weeks.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Items to approve the purchase of 2 instructional programs for the Cyclone Learning Camps. Those are Sunday System Reading RTI program in the amount of $25,109 and illustrative mathematics Tier 1 math program for $16,050, both programs totaling $41,159. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. And any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to approve the purchase of Canvas Learning Management System and user training from Instructure in the amount of $60,675 using ESSER 2.0 funding. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Second, okay.
As you know, when COVID hit and we started this school year, our teachers and staff spent a tremendous amount of time training to use Google Classroom. And that's basically the online platform that we use with our distance learning and delivering that instruction. In the course of that, what we found is it's a great program, However, it really is taxing on the teachers. A lot of things aren't user-friendly from the teacher side about linking up grades and things like that. So Canvas Learning System is a significant step up in that respect. It's going to make our staff's job a lot easier. Students will see from their end, they're going to see a program that I won't say is user-friendly, but it's just going to be more appealing. It's going to be more intuitive. And so it's just going to be a better platform altogether. And ultimately, it's going to make things easier on our teachers. Now, we're currently doing a pilot at the high school with this. And so after speaking with Dr. Mitten, he's convinced this is the route to go. He and his staff have done a great job training the other staff members there at the school. And so they've requested that we do this, and this is a 3-year contract with them, so this would pay this through the 23-24 school year. And so it's really going to take that to another level, our instruction in general to another level. Even though, our hopes are that we continue on a path that we have full in-person instruction 5 days a week starting the next school year, this platform students can access through their Chromebook, and it's going to be a much better interface between them and the teacher for assignments and even things when they're out one day. There are things ways they can still communicate for some of that schoolwork while they're at home. So it's going to be a huge benefit to both our students and our staff. So we would appreciate you considering approving this item as well.
Okay. I'm just curious, does this do away with snow days?
Well,
I mean, seriously, I'm just curious.
There's been a lot of discussion about that.
Okay.
Because we've obviously proven that we can do instruction remotely. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think that instruction is better than in person, because it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
However, a lot of that depends on the state and what they will allow us to do moving forward. But in East Tennessee, we're kind of unique. We face some unique challenges with weather that they don't face in a lot of other parts of the state. So we're hopeful that there's going to be some allowance in that. Maybe if we stockpile days now, if they at least would give us that option, once we use our stockpile days, could we then call a remote learning day in order not to get behind? Our hope is that they're going to approve something like that, but that's still undetermined at this point.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Item is to approve purchase of Canvas Learning Management System and user training from Instructure in the amount of $60,675 using ESSER 2.0 funds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion carries. Next item is to approve 3-year purchase of Case Mastery Connect benchmark assessment platform in the amount of $82,542 using ESSER 2.0 funds. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Second, thank you. All right.
Okay, this benchmark testing program we implemented this year, so we're currently using this program, and as we're going to recognize some individuals next month. We're part of a consortium in Northeast Tennessee in cooperation with Niswonger Foundation, and we are using these benchmark assessments regionally to help look at data, look for what systems have strengths. It gives us a good idea about how our students are performing in comparison with other districts, and it also allows us to see who's doing a great job, and maybe we have opportunities there to see what they're doing and see if there's things that we would like to implement as well. And so the consortium is there for all the districts to do just that. The things that we're strong in, we want to share with other districts, because it's really not a competition in that sense at all. We want to win on Friday nights, certainly, in an athletic contest, but when it comes to education, we all want to see everyone succeed. And that's one thing, in the short time I've been in this role, I've really been impressed with the director of schools, how cooperative they are, how they work together. And I think a lot of that has to do with the pandemic. We've all kind of locked arms to try to make it through this together. And these are some of those advantages that we're reaping the benefits from here. But This benchmark testing system, again, we're currently using, this would be a 3-year extension of that. And so it's really, the real benefit of this as compared to what we used in the past, it is, there's a very high correlation between the results from this assessment and TCAP. So it's a really good measure. If you do well on these benchmarks, the data shows that you're going to, that more than likely you're going to do very well on TCAP. So it's a really, really good measure and gives teachers some important information to inform their instruction as they move forward and get closer to the end of the year. So it's a very valuable program. We'd appreciate your consideration for this. Any questions on that?
Okay, if not, the items to approve, 3-year purchase of Case Mastery Connect benchmark assessment platform in the amount of $82,542 using ESSER 2.0 funds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to approve creating of an additional volleyball assistant coach position at Elizabethton High School. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And I'll take one of those as a second.
Second.
All right. And
Sure. So the volleyball team at the high school is running about 30 student athletes, and they currently have a head coach and 2 assistant coaches. And Coach Bradley has requested an addition of another assistant. And as you know, volleyball is really growing in the community. We have several girls that are playing at a very early age. Coach Bradley and her staff, they do they've done it several different ways, but due to COVID, they're actually doing that right now. They're doing a little kids camp where they're learning some of those skills. So they've really increased the opportunity for the feeder programs into that program. They've been very successful the last few years, and what we're seeing is it's just like football. I know that those of us that participate in that, Coach Pless, you and I both, spend a lot of time watching film, and now that's filtered all the way down to volleyball. So there's a lot more time involved in things like that, and Coach Bradley's asked for that other assistant, not just for managing the day-to-day practices during the season. They typically set up 2 courts in the gym, and so this would allow 2 coaches each to be with each group of students, student athletes. So there are 3 teams when they compete. There's a freshman team, a JV, and a varsity. So this would give her an opportunity to have a freshman coach, a JV coach, and a varsity assistant. Now, they still all work together like the other sports that have multiple assistants, but this would be a huge benefit to that program to be able to help them provide the instruction to our students.
And again, it's an assistant coaching supplement.
That's
what we're
correct.
essentially talking
That's
about.
correct.
And and they're fun to watch. The volleyball is very good. Any questions or comments?
Well, I'd comment that the money spent on assistant coaches, you get your money's worth.
Yeah,
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Anybody's
It's,
been there, no.
yeah, you don't want to start dividing that out by the hours, do you?
No.
No, and we appreciate all their efforts.
Yes.
So. Okay, items to approve, creating of an additional volleyball assistant coach position at Elizabethton High School. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, and last item, approve creation of a summer band coordinator position for the 2020-2021 school year. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
So move, and a second?
Second.
Second, okay. All right.
Okay, so let me explain this position. So as you know, we're all very sad at the fact that Mr. Elliott has he is in the process of retiring at the end of this school year. And my goodness, we could stand up here and talk for days about what Mr. Elliott's done for the band program, the school, as well as the community. So he's going to be very, very hard to replace. There's no question about that. But we have to do that. And so what I will tell you is that we've already started that process. We actually have interviewed We interviewed 8 different candidates, the first round of interviews, and we had 6 staff members that were on the interview committee. And then we pared that list down to 3. And we invited 3 individuals to Elizabethton for in-person interviews separately for in 3-hour blocks. We toured T.A. Duggar, we toured the high school, and then we came up here for some additional interview opportunity. So we're very close to being in a position to name the next band director. But whomever that person is, that person won't officially start until July the 1st. And as you know, there's a lot that needs to be done prior to July the 1st for the band. Again, we have a very proud program, great tradition, and part of that is how hard they work. So what we would like to do is create this coordinator position, and essentially it would be a $1,500 stipend for whomever that selection is to help them offset all the work they're going to have to do in May and June. So that's the nature of this. So they won't officially start as the band director until July 1, but we will hire them in this role, again, for this supplemented position. And so this won't be something that reoccurs. It's just to help us bridge that small time period that we have between now and July 1 when they take over. There's a show, a show to develop, making sure that all the staff that he's going to have is willing to be there and participate. It's setting up band camp, making connections. I mean, you can just imagine all the coordinating with the band boosters. There's just a ton of work that has to be done. So that's the nature of this request.
Well, I'll say too, again, just as a parent, the influence that Mr. Elliott had on both of mine, and then having been in Mr. Minton's role as a principal, just again to walk somewhere and know where you're from, and inevitably somebody's going to say 2 or 3 things. A lot of them, they're going to say, "Oh, that's where the Betsy band's from. We know all about your band." It just brings you a lot of pride. And again, I know it's been a storied past, but I know at least Mr. Elliott's era, my children quote things all the time, the Perryisms, and he will be missed, and whomever comes into that role will have extremely large shoes to fill, and I know y'all have done a great job in your search. But again, he will be missed, and we look forward to moving on to the next chapter. We've not had a lot of band directors in our history. So that's one of those positions that there really are 2, and yours isn't one of them, that you need to get right. So just for the no, I'm just kidding. It is a big deal. But that and the football coach, and I've been on that end of that too. So we'll just stop there. But again, no, it is yours. It is a big deal.
I appreciate that.
It is, but
it's too late.
I got you. Okay, but that is. I mean, it's bigger than people understand.
It is.
I guess.
It is.
So,
It's the front porch. When you think about athletics,
It
you
is.
think about the band. It's the front porch of the school system, and they're out there participating in all those public events.
So, I'm sorry for that. Any other slide comments or rude comments or questions about that? I know, Mr. Wilson, you enjoyed working with him also in that role.
Yeah, let me just say one other thing on that.
Okay.
You think about Coach Witten and the football coaches that have been here before, and the band director. There's potential for a strained relationship there, and I will tell you that Mr. Elliott's done a tremendous job of working with both individuals. Have worked well, extremely. They spend a lot of time together for obvious reasons, and so he's been great to work with. The football coach has been great to work with the band. It's a partnership, and we appreciate him for setting that standard.
There's a lot of respect for people who strive to get kids to be their best, and we've got a lot of those in our schools. So, but obviously 2 of the best there.
I'd like to add one thing to that. You know, when you go see Elizabethton football and you see how our team plays, and then you go watch the band perform, And I just have to believe that people on the other side over there are going, their band's better than ours, their football team's better than ours, they're probably doing better than we are in classroom half the time. I just think it speaks volumes about your school. I think any money we spend on those programs is money well spent.
You think there's 135 to 150 students that are involved in that program? There's a lot of unique things about our band program, the way that it's structured, the fact that a lot of places you go, the band, they don't have an opportunity to participate in other things. Sports, other clubs, things like that, because there's just such that demand. And we've managed, under Mr. Elliott's direction and his wisdom, we've found a way to mesh those. And it's, the success speaks for itself. So he's going to be greatly missed. And we're excited. We're excited about the future and very appreciative of Mr. Elliott and all he's done for the school system.
Okay. All right. Item on the agenda is to approve creation of a summer band coordinator position for the 2020-2021 school year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next regularly scheduled board meeting will be on Thursday, May 20th at 5:30 here in this same place. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
In a second? Second. We're going.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gone.
See ya.
Oh, Jamie.